Have you ever wondered what you can learn from the past that are still valid for the present and that can also inspire you to get those future solutions for a sustainable living? I'll try and show you an example of ours in my talk today. And building traditions in Norway has, from ancient times, been characterized by the need to shelter, to protect ourselves, people, animal, and our properties from the harsh weather, and to make the most out of scarce building resources. Until the 20th century, most Norwegians lived and worked in buildings that were designed and built according to vernacular building traditions. These buildings varied somewhat by region and climatic conditions, and they evolved over time, but they were largely based on use of wood, stone, or other locally produced sustainable resources. They were simple structures, sometimes even a combination of barns and dwelling houses, or even shared by both humans and cattle. You can learn a lot from studying these old building traditions and building techniques, both in the careful use of materials, the sensible handcraft, securing less waste, and the robustness and the clever low-tech solutions. The need for shelter and comfort has been and are still very essential to us when constructing buildings. We want to be protected from the elements. We want to keep warm in a safe environment, and we want to be overlooking our surroundings. The Snøhetta Viewpoint Pavilion is a robust building that refines these local building traditions and provides a protected gathering place for visitors and enriches the unique landscape of Dovrefjell. The pavilion sits on a spectacular site on the outskirts of Dovrefjell National Park, overlooking the mountain Snøhetta and the Dovre Mountain Plateau. The main purpose is to provide shelter for school groups and visitors as mountain guides educates and guides about the unique wildlife and history of Dovre. Dovrefjell is home to Europe's last wild reindeer herds, and it is the natural habitat for many rare plants and animals, including musk oxes and polar foxes. A rich history filled with travelers and hunting traditions, mining, and military activities has left its mark on this land. In addition to the natural and cultural landscape, the Dovre Mountain also holds very special importance in the Norwegian consciousness, all the time that the founding fathers of the Norwegian constitutions were agreed and faithful until the fall of Dovre. This unique natural, cultural, and mythical landscape has formed the basis of the architectural idea. A wooden core is placed within a rectangular frame of raw steel and glass. The core is inspired by nature itself, and it's shaped like rock or ice being eroded for centuries from natural forces. Its shape creates a protected and warm gathering place, still preserving the visitor access to spectacular views. In this project, the need for detailed drawings made in a traditional way was eliminated by a direct use of digital tools, following the whole design and manufacturing process. Test models were milled underway, and the same digital files were used for utilizing the wood milling process by the shipbuilders who produced the wooden core. At Snøhetta, we believe in dialogue as the means to reach improved solutions. Our main focus in the design process is to create a room for exchange of ideas and active exchange and collaborations amongst everyone in the value chain, we as architects have a lot to learn from other parts and other interests in the building industry. It is our experience that through clear and continuous communication and rigorous attention to detail, the best results are achieved. We place a high emphasis on working with physical models as well as drawings and digital tools, so we can both have a dialogue in between the analog and the digital exploration. We think with our bodies as well with our brains. As an extension of this idea, a strong environmental and cultural understanding is essential in the design and planning process. The understanding of the past, the environmental and cultural context allows us to provide the highest quality design, and it is individual, highly tailored, respectful to its place, and unique in character. In the past, materials were more expensive than man-hours. Man-hours are now usually less expensive. They're more expensive than the materials, and we have found more modern ways of producing and preparing both materials with extensive use of digital tools and industrial technologies. So we save man-hours. More expensive materials might just be the push forward to take further action within reuse, upcycling, urban mining, and recycling. By 2030, we must reduce our carbon emissions by at least 50% to be in line with the Paris Agreement. So, let's bring some of those insights from the past and translate these to future perspectives. We must use less. We should build less square meters. We should build for longevity. We should reuse, reduce, or simplify. We should design for dismantling, taking care of the cradle-to-cradle perspective. We should know where the material we choose to use is coming from, so we can be curious and ask and investigate and calculate. Know the figures of the carbon footprint that we produce. We should focus on more flexible and shared spaces, perhaps also use the site twice, if that is possible. And we should study the simple and clever solutions from the past. They are still valuable and possible to use and valid for the future, like how to maximize and optimize for daylight, how to rely on natural climatization, how to use integrated energy design or passive solutions. The simple building shape of the Snøhetta Viewpoint Pavilion are shaped and use only natural materials that refers to the local building traditions. The space is only lit by daylight and it's heated by a central fireplace. The wood is assembled in a traditional way using only wood pegs as fasteners, although it is still manufactured with the modern digital tools. The facade and the interior are the same wooden piece. The pavilion is open to the public 24/7. It is part of a series of buildings that we call keyless structures. These structures focus on the relationship between public and private. They're open and generous, and they contribute to the society, gives something back. In essence, though, the building is an old-fashioned shelter. It allows for groups of people to gather while looking at some magnificent mountain scenery or waiting for wild-rained herds or musk oxes to come by. The cave-like wooden core with its integrated benches is a soft interpretation of the intimacy generated between people and landscape, where one is depending on the other. The pavilion is robust, yet nuanced building that gives visitors an opportunity to reflect and contemplate in this vast and rich landscape. At Snøhetta, we strive for eco-effective and beautiful design solutions. We therefore like to push the design assignment further, with the ambition to achieve added value and spaces that are both restorative and attractive. To achieve high-quality architecture, we are constantly re-evaluating our acquired knowledge. We do our best, learning from the past, striving for improvement and future innovations. Through our ongoing investigations, we strive to make use of advanced technology at the forefront of research in our search for more sustainable solutions and answers, in combination with low-tech solutions and vast material knowledge. We seek to raise awareness of the climate and biodiversity crisis and the urgent need for action, and we want to accelerate the shift to low-embodied carbon materials in all of our work. Thank you.